Today, I am embarking on a Borderlands 2 challenge run that is not for the faint of heart. This will easily be the hardest challenge run I have ever attempted in the game. As you probably saw in the thumbnail, I'll be doing a playthrough of Borderlands 2 without using the Unkempt Herald, the Fastball, or the Bee. Trying to beat this game with the only 3 good items in the game is going to be super tough. Even after countless playthroughs under my belt, I fear the worst for the challenge run. This is not going to be easy. I decided to make the challenge even harder by playing Axton, as he relies heavily on these 3 items more than any other character in the game, since he boosts explosive damage so much. The start of this run is just like any other. Normally I farm Mong piles until I get a World Drop Herald or Fastball, but I'm not allowed to do that this run. So I go ahead and head back to Draft DLC to start farming some levels. While farming levels, I find this Qual Calipine and this double 11 pounder. I also find this Oppressed Assassin. Eventually, I get to level 7, and I start speccing my build. I go for reload first, because who doesn't like reload? I equip my newfound gear, and I head back to Claptrap's place, and I'm ready to take on the main story. First things first is Knuckle Dragger. By far the biggest challenge to start off here. But I got a nice level 7 Green's Jacob sniper that easily takes him out in a couple shots. I do get a Hornet from him, which is honestly going to be pretty nice for the upcoming Boom Boom fight. Later, I clear out the Liarsburg, and it's time to take on Boom Boom. Luckily, I have a Hornet that can help deal with Boom and his brother Boom. It's not a Herald, so I think a Herald would actually do a lot better here. I mean, I know it does a lot better here because I used to, farm Bloodwing piles for them. But I mean, a Hornet does pretty good as I just get to loot this stuff. I'm not really paying attention, just kind of vibing and just looting. Eventually, I take out Big Bertha, and it's time to kill Boom, and he falls relatively quickly with the Hornet. After that, I get to level 8 off the Shotgun Midget, and I get to spec more reload. Up next is the Flint fight. I'm not really sure. I'm not really feeling confident in this fight, so I kind of take a safe strat and I climb up the tower to where Captain Flint kind of spawns, just so I can stay out of the fight with everyone. I actually get a nice early crit here at the start with this Jacob sniper, which is nice. I throw my turret a little too early though, because he's going to go straight into fire phase, and fire phase means damage reduction. So I just kind of take pod shots at all the nearby goonies, and it's just to decrease my risk of being shot at. Alright, while I wait out Captain Flint's fire. I do get a pretty good crit right here when he's throwing his grenades, which is pretty nice. I guess I am kind of a gamer. Again, just kind of poking at him. I eventually get to a point where I just decide, screw it, let's just go down there and finish him off. Overall, the fight went pretty well, and didn't get a drop, but oh well. I get this rocket torpedo from this bully Mong. I know Axton's the AR character, so I decided to try it out, even though I know all ARs are bad in this game. So let's see how it does. We got a couple bully Mongs up here. Throw my turret down, and let's see. Oh, actually does decent damage. Who would have thought? Who would have thought? Not me. At this point, I already have a Herald, so why would I ever use a gun? Well, that torpedo gets immediately replaced with this plump root. Thank you, Marcus. I will use it nicely. After that, I get to level 9, and I spec my reload. After that, we get to Sanctuary. I get this pretty awesome customer-focused thinking. Nothing like a strong Hyperion shotgun to set the mood. Just kidding. I actually get this quad-barrel TDR shotgun. That's purple. So, thanks for the shotgun supreme, Marcus. I'm feeling pretty strong now. So strong. I find the Savage Lee in the wild, and I get a kill, but no drop. I I decided to farm savagely because I kind of want some more skill points, and this guy drops some pretty decent XP. I do get a stiff unkempt herald at this kill here with the matching grip. This thing would decimate the entire rest of the game, but it's still no debuff. Anyway, I get to level 10 quickly after that, and can you guess where I spiked this point? That's right, reload. Good job. This lead decides to drop me a bandit grip explicit herald. Got me excited for a moment there because it had the little part at the bottom, but still not the debuff I wanted. Alright. It's okay. Time heals all wounds. Hopefully Marcus can make better use of this herald than I can. Goodbye. So long, old friend. From there, level 11 is up next, and I get to spec into a different skill this time, and I choose Willing, because this skill is kind of broken. In Frostburn, I find this chitinous turtle shield, which is a lot better than the shield I have now. Then I find this burst fire Lascal. The ×2 pellet on it reminds me of a debuff, so I decided to try it out. In this chest, I find a Skory Pushka, which is a huge pickup considering I have to kill a bunch of guys soon, which is really nice. And fire element also really helps with that. So, thank you, chest. Here is the entire Firehawk sequence, I guess you can call it. I haven't sped up to save some time, but this is one of few moments that's going to be in this video that just shows how my DPS is going during this run. I'll let you guys decide if not using a Herald, Fastfall, or B is viable based on these videos. But right now you can see I'm kind of doing pretty okay without these 3 items, so enjoy. After killing hordes of people for Lilith, she gives me my first class mod. Thanks, Lilith. I do pick up In Memoriam once I'm back at Sanctuary, just kind of for the meme and for a little XP. Bull unfortunately does not drop me a crest drop fastball, but oh well, he does give me a level up and another point into Willing. I find this auto-correcting synergy in a chest, which I'm sure will get used a lot in this run. Just kidding. It immediately gets replaced by this floated Gwen's head. Thanks, Dust. After the Dust sequence, Bad Maw is up next. I don't really have a great way to kill Bad Maw, and I'm probably going to struggle a little bit, but I end up making do. And after killing Bad Maw for the first time, I do start farming levels off him. It just turns out that chucking TD chucks at Bad Maw is a pretty decent way to kill him. Just like that, he's dead. Then I start farming him for some XP. I get to level 13 and spec. You guessed it, more Willing, because again, this skill is kind of crazy. Bad Maw eventually drops me this Jacob's Gatling gun, which absolutely greatly increases my DPS. Goodbye, Gwen's head. I do get this rocket launcher as well, but it doesn't really have a use. It's level 14 after level 13, and spec once again into more Willing. Look at the stats on this skill. After level 14 is level 15, and I get to spec the final point into Willing. One more level, and I get to have the fun skill next. I wonder if you can guess which one it is. I also find this fire synergy. I get to level 16, and I'm finally able to get a single point into the fun skill, also known as Onslaught. Let's go gun damage and movement speed. Mad Mike is our next boss, but because of Onslaught and the Jacob's Gatling gun, he falls relatively quickly. I paid the toll, that's for you Jolts fans. Up next is Warden. I'm 50-50 on Warden, but it turns out that a ×3 pellet Jacob's assault rifle is actually pretty good. Who would have thought? Warden then drops me this Raz Droog, which I greatly appreciate. I know I can skip this next part here by safe quitting, but I decided to include it as another DPS check for the run, just to see how well I'm doing. So, enjoy. In Tundra Express, I decided to kill the Tundra Patrol, also known as Will, in order to get the No Hard Feelings quest, because I'm kind of looking for an upgrade for some of my guns, shotgun or AR. I end up with this plump spitter that replaces our amazing Jacob's AR. I also get to level 17 soon afterwards, and get some more sweet Onslaught. Wilhelm is our next boss. For some reason, I had this misconception that his joints were not weak to fire damage. In hindsight, that's kind of a silly idea, but it doesn't really change the fight too much. I just switched to the spitter I just got, and I have a Tesla as well, and they eventually melt them down. After Wilhelm's demise, we head back to Sanctuary and get our first relic, and we get to say goodbye to our friends. Uh-oh. Also, this relic is kind of bad. While Sanctuary is getting bomb, I find this Mag 3 Sparkling Dispatch, which is pretty nice. I also find this class mod and a new shield in the fridge. Thanks, vendors. Up next is Gluttonous Thresher. I'm pretty scared at this point because I have underleveled gear a little bit. But let's see how well our Tesla and Spitter do against this guy. Well, not a bad start there. And just like that, Gluttonous Thresher goes down. And I get a level up, which means more points into Onslaught. Let's go. Here is our next little DPS segment, Overlook Sequence. Not the whole thing, but just a little part of it. As you guys can see, my damage is a little lacking. I have a hard time keeping loaders away from the beacon. I have a hard time killing this single badass loader. So, definitely in the market for some better loot. But what do you guys think? Did I do okay here? Next, we're back in Sanctuary. We get to meet up with Roland and the gang. On the way to Wildlife, I find this Bandit rocket launcher. In Wildlife, I find this cruddy skater gun, which is anything but. This thing absolutely carries me through the loader fights up ahead. I get to level 19 soon afterwards, and I use the level up bonus for level 19 to try to take down this super badass loader, as it is my biggest wall at this point. Thankfully, he drops me a slag transfusion grenade I desperately needed, and some iridium. Also spec more onslaught. Who would have thought? Since we're on wildlife, I decided to farm some loot midgets for loot and for also XP. I get nothing on the first go around. First thing I find is this anarchist in a chest, which greatly helps me out. Then I get to level 20 and get a hard bane stick from the super badass loader here, and another level up, which means the final point into onslaught. My first loot midget drop is a sledger shotgun, which honestly surprised me. This gun absolutely carries me through the rest of the game, and I'd be lost without it. Here's the next DPS check montage that I have. This is really just to show off the power of sledger shotgun, as it absolutely just decimates the enemies in this area. And yeah, this thing was a huge help in this fight and for many more to come. So enjoy the carnage. My second loot midget drop is a resolute shreddifier. This thing is actually pretty good. I was pleasantly surprised as well by its power. It digs through ammo, but it was still a lot of fun to use. Thanks, loot midgets. My next drop is this longbow caustic leech, which I don't really use. I get to level 21 shortly thereafter, and start specking expertise, because I like weapon swap speed. My fourth drop from the loot midgets is this Skookum Skullmasher, which absolutely carries me as well, as this thing's damage output is absolutely insane at this point. My fifth and final drop from the loot midgets is this Hellfire, which doesn't get much screen time in this video, but it definitely helps against the flesh enemies. Get to level 22 and start specking more expertise. I do get this Bandit Allegiance, which also just boosts my sledger shotgun even more. I also get this Jacob's Allegiance, but no max size, so kinda eh. The next boss is Bloodwing, which sledger shotgun is able to take down in a decent amount of time. Bloodwing down, it's time to head to 1,000 Cuts and meet up with Brick. While there, I find this Rifleman comm, which is a big help. I also pick up the Shoot the Guy in the Face quest. While fighting the hordes of minions, I get to level 23 and start specking more expertise. I do end up getting a Godliath. Not that I'm expecting to get anything good, but just because it's kind of fun in this area. Here's Sledger Shotgun once again shows its worth, as I have a hard time critting with the Skullmasher. Here I get nothing but a glitch screen, and that's about it. With Brick and Roland now friends again, they gift me this Mag 4 TDR rocket launcher. Man, that would have been nice. Up next is Opportunity with Jack's Body Double. but he falls to a couple well-placed Skullmasher shots. Here's another DPS check content for everyone. This is just me running through opportunity with the Shredifire. With the points in Onslaught, it's just so much fun running through this map, just killing and moving super quick and just killing the next enemy and just chaining Onslaught kills. So, enjoy. Here I pick up the Good, the Bad, and Mordecai because Axon's the AR character, and I really want a Varuk. While finding Carson's body, I make a fatal error and accidentally kill this guy right before I'm about to go down, which sadly results in the first death of the run. Sad times. If only I aimed better. Up next is the Trucken standoff with Mowgli and the Gettle. They fall pretty handily to the Skullmasher here. Don't get any drops from them exactly, but I do get a couple decent greens from opening this chest. And while I appreciate Moxie's endowment, I will not be wearing it. I also get a level up, which just means more points into expertise. While farming Mowgli and Gettle, specifically for a Varuk, I don't get one, but I instead actually just get a Lyuda. I've never used this gun before, and I'd rather have a Varuk, but I decided to pick it up just to try it out. Who knows if it'll be good or not. I decided to keep farming because I want to get to level 25, but sadly, no Varuk for me. Oh well. At this point, it's time to move on. I try to get a better Lyuda, but no shot. Here, I decided to give up on Mowgli. But I do get a point, and that's one more point into expertise. Thanks, guys. With that, it's time to get ready for a bunker. But first, I decided to pick up home movies from Lilith because I kind of want a new cooldown relic. Unfortunately, I messed up here, and after you talk to Claptrap, home movies is no longer available. In fact, it is just straight up blocked. So, can't do home movies anymore for a cooldown relic. Oh well. Well, let's move on to bunker now. So, here the Lyuda really does its best to shine. It absolutely surprises me with its DPS and how well it takes out these loaders. Good job, Lyuda. I do get this world drop Pandemic. I don't use it, but still pretty cool find. I wanted to use a Varuk for shooting face guy, but I'll just have to deal with the Lyuda side pellet. Here, a loot loader almost just kills me by knocking me off the ledge, but by surviving, I am rewarded a white cooldown relic. Thanks, game. Up next is the bunker fight. Now this is where the Lyuda really shines. Like a moron, I start killing off all the robots around the arena. It takes me not till the last second to realize that I should probably leave a couple lying around for kill skills, but hindsight's 20/20, right? keep looking around for more kill skills, but then I remember I can just shoot his auto cannons and it gets the job done. Fortunately, I get a 1 cycle, which is pretty awesome. Pretty good DPS from this Lyuda. Who would have thought? Just like that, Bunker goes down. Easy peasy. Bunker does drop me this green cooldown relic, which is arguably better than a sham. And Control Core Angel, I level up to level 26 and get my first point into Metal Storm. Let's go. I farmed the Marcus chest and settled with this spitter. Not that great, and I didn't really want to farm for any more, so I just moved on. In Sanctuary, I find this longbow Merv with a good fuse time, and I pick that up. Turn the quest into Mordecai, and it's now time to farm King Mong for a couple of levels. Thankfully, I still have this Ledger Shotgun, which does great slag chance. Level 27 is quickly obtained. I'm so excited about leveling up and finding this white golden relic. I try to kill this auto turret that's shooting me, but my gun seems to stop working. Once it starts working again, I killed the auto cannon and finally spec more points into Metal Storm. Look at that slag chance. Now level 28. I get a skin drop for a skin I don't have, which is funny enough. And I also get this green bandit rocket launcher that surprisingly does outdo my levels like 17 one I got from Before Wildlife a long time ago. So goodbye old and with the new. Here I actually kill King Mong with that green rocket launcher I found, and it actually ends up dropping the bada boom. So goodbye shooty bombardier, you did your part. This King Mong kill, I don't get too much, but I do get this blue cooldown relic. Thanks, game. In this kill, I get another bada boom. I also get this quad development from Hyperion. I switch it out for my Sledger Shotgun, but I like the slag chance better on sledges, and I end up switching back to it later. But this new bada boom is also pretty sweet. Come join the team. Even though these racks just keep knocking me around, leave me alone. I get to level 29 soon thereafter. Pick up all the trash loot that he dropped in order to sell it for some money. And once again, spec. Oh, what was it again? Oh, that's right. Yeah, Metal Storm, of course. Maybe. No, I'm just kidding. Yeah, of course we spec Metal Storm. Eventually he drops his Desperate Hulk as well. He then drops me another bada boom. This one's not as good. It's got a bigger mag, but not too big of a fan of that one. He then drops me another bada boom, just shy of level 30. This one is just pure damage and a slightly bigger mag, so I decided to swap it out. I get to level 30 finally. Pick up some of the loot that he drops in order to sell it. And put my final point into Metal Storm. 5 out of 5 Metal Storm and 5 out of 5 Onslaught. A boy can dream. Up next is Sawtooth Cauldron. Here I make another fatal mistake. I don't hear the explosive psycho running up behind me, and he gets the better of me, and I go down. This, of course, results in the second death of the run. Goodbye, cruel world. Up next is another DPS check for you guys. This is just me and the 4 ambush commanders. So enjoy. After running through Sawtooth, it's time to kill Mortar, who is no match for a couple bada boom shots. With Toil and Trouble completed, I could farm the B shield here, but I decide not to since I can't use it, and rather farm Saturn instead. While being greedy for some loot, I make another fatal error with these explosive loaders, which results in the 3rd death of the run. On the way to Saturn, I find this homing slag transfusion grenade, and now it's time to kill Saturn. Saturn is an interesting fight as a lot of my damage comes from grenade damage and crits, which Saturn doesn't really care too much about. So I kind of rely on kill skills here to get the job done. Thankfully, action kill skills are on another level, so this fight honestly isn't too bad. It gets easier every single time. I decided to farm Saturn for a few more levels because, again, I just want more skill points, and the XP is nice from Saturn. At level 31, I decided to throw a point in the longbow, which I will continue to misuse for the entire rest of the run. Good point usage. From there, I find this longbow merc and also find a better slag transfusion grenade. Nice. I get to level 32, where I start speccing the Battlefront. While looting, I find a friendly face in this chest in the form of this Patriot's Anarchist. While fighting for my life from this junk loader, I grab this Godroll Raquel that will absolutely carry me through the rest of the game. Thanks, game. Here, I get to level 33 and spec another point in the Battlefront. From here, I equip my new loadout that will take on Heroes Pass in the future. From here, I keep going from data mining, pick up the map data, and head back to Sanctuary, and turn it into Mordecai. It's now time for the end game. I try to get some good loot from the people in Sanctuary, especially Hammerlock, but I don't get anything good, except when I talk to Michael, who hooks me up with this pretty sweet Ravager. Thanks, Michael. You're always a real one. From here, I head to Heroes Pass, where I also successfully saved both turrets. And here is the next DPS check of the run, the final one. This is the entire run through Heroes Pass. It shows all the mistakes and all the cool things I found along the way. I decided to show it the whole thing because I figured, why not, as this is the final point in the game and the last time you really get to see my build in action. I think there's a lot of things my build could use to make it better, other than a Herald, a Beat, and a Fastball. I think instead of speccing pure damage and speccing some survivability, I might actually be better off. But, oh well. Enjoy my run through Heroes Pass, or skip it if you like. Here I find a melee shield that has pretty much twice the capacity of my current shield. So I just decided to throw it on because I desperately need the extra survivability at this point. And don't worry, I'll actually use the melee bonus eventually. Here I get to use that melee bonus from that melee shield to one-shot this Hyperion Hawk and two-shot this Combat Engineer. Thanks, melee shield. You were useful. Here I make a pretty silly error and rush the super badass loader with no slag on it, and I don't have enough damage to get back up, so there leads to the 4th death of the run. Instead of rushing, I should have just took my time, but oh well. When I come back, I do take my time in killing the loader, get the slag on him, and use my awesome rate kill to take him out. However, my redemption is short-lived, as instead of taking my time through this next part, I also rush through without killing any of the loaders and try and take on the super badass constructor at the very end. Definitely not my smartest play. I don't die here, but I do go down a lot, and it just looks kind of bad, but here you go. I'm so close to the end, I just want to get there. And just like that, this run has officially made it to the end game. First things first, it's time to kill Jack. This fight is always kind of easy, especially with the Herald being a fastball. And this Anarchist is no exception. The Anarchist makes quick work of Jack and his little clones. With Jack dead, it's finally time to take on the warrior. Without the bee, I honestly thought I had no chance of killing this beast. But if I'm going down, I'm going down swinging. So here we go. Let's try our best. My damage so far, not looking too good. We're in for a long fight. Oh, never mind. Turns out that the Bada Boom is actually a pretty decent weapon. Again, who would ever think these things? just like that, the warrior has been defeated without using a single unkempt herald, fastball, or bee in my loadout. Unfortunately, I do die to the warrior here as I get crushed to death by his corpse, but that's alright. That's the final death of the run, I promise. I'm in high spirits either way. I walk over and I call the moonshot to solidify the warrior's death. And I'm rewarded handsome Jack's severed head, somehow. I have one last enemy to kill. I take aim with my Raquel, and I pull the trigger. And that's it. It's over. I have killed every enemy I'm required to kill. All I have to do is just press E on this vault key to officially end the run. A sense of accomplishment and awe washes over me. I decided to take in my surroundings and think of all the guns, shields, grenades, class mods, and relics that got me here. I'm bittersweet. I'm happy that I was able to do this run, but I'm sad that I have to say goodbye to all the items that got me here. I climb the steps and I look over the edge. I think of that Sledge's shotgun, the Skull Masher, the Shred-a-Fire, that Jacob's Gatling gun, the Spitters, the Anarchist, that Purple Banner rocket launcher that carried me so far, and I thank them. I thank this Raquel in my hand that was built at Marsh Loaders. I thank this Anarchist who killed anything I pointed it at. I thank them. I thank this Ravager, and I thank the man who gave it to me, as without it, Heroes Pass would have been a mess. I then thank the Bada Boom. Wait, that's not a Bada Boom. That's a herald. Why do I have a herald in my inventory? I have a herald in my hand. Wait, what? This is a bee? A class mod I don't have? A fastball? Wait, why do I have heralds in my inventory? Why do I have so many fastballs? What is going on? This doesn't make any sense. Is there? No. Did I use these the whole run? No, it can't be. No. I didn't. I swear. I fought Knuckledragger with the Jacob Sniper. I fought Boom Boom with the Hornet. And Flint with that Jacob Sniper and the pistol. Wait. And Wilhelm with that spitter and that Tesla grenade. I swore I used those. Did I not? Did I use a herald? The loot midgets? No, there's no way. I swore. That's not. No, I didn't. Even the bunker went down to the herald? I don't remember this. Saturn to my Lyuda. But what? The warrior? No, I used the Bada Boom. Did I really? Was it all just a lie? Was I really using the herald and the fastball and B this entire time? I can't seem to escape them. I can't believe it. Even after trying so hard to stay away from these items, I just can't. I can't press E on this. I failed. I failed the challenge. I failed.